Darius the Great Deserves Better by Adib Khurram. Darius Kellner is having a bit of a year. Since his trip to Iran this past spring, a lot has changed. He's getting along with his dad, and his best friend Sorab is only a Skype call away. Between his first boyfriend Landon, his varsity soccer practices, and his internship at his favorite tea shop, Darius is feeling pretty okay. Then of course everything changes. Darius' grandmothers are in town for a long visit while his dad is gone on business, and Darius isn't quite sure whether they even like him. The internship isn't what Darius thought it would be, and now he doesn't even know about turning tea into his career. He was sure he liked Landon, but when he starts hanging out with Chip, soccer teammate and best friend of Trent Bolger, epic bully, well, he's not so sure about Landon anymore either. Darius thought he knew exactly who he was and what he wanted, but maybe he was wrong. Maybe he deserves better. In this companion to award-winning Darius the Great Is Not Okay, Darius suddenly has it all: a boyfriend, an internship, a spot on the soccer team. It's everything he's ever wanted, but what if he deserves better?
This is Himawari House by Harmony Becker. When Nao returns to Tokyo to reconnect with her Japanese heritage, she books a year-long stay at the Himawari share house. There she meets Haijang and Tina, two other girls who came to Japan to freely forge their own paths. The trio live together, share meals, and even attend the same Japanese language school, which results in them becoming fast friends. But will they be able to hold one another up as life tests them with new loves, old heartbreaks, and the everyday challenges of being fish out of water?
1500 Miles from the Sun by Johnny Garzavilla. Julian Luna has a plan for his life: graduate, get into UCLA, and have the chance to move away from Corpus Christi, Texas, and the suffocating expectations of others that have forced Jules into a life not his own. Then in one reckless moment, with one impulsive tweet, his plans for a low-key 9 months are thrown literally out of the closet. The downside, the whole world knows, and Jules has to prepare himself for rejection. The upside, Jules now has the opportunity to be his real self. Then Matt, a cute, empathetic Twitter crush from Los Angeles, slides into his DMs, and Jules can tell him anything. Matt makes the world seem conquerable. But when Jules' fears about coming out come true, the person he needs most is 1500 miles away. Jules has to face them alone. Jules propelled himself into the life he's always dreamed of, and now that he's in control of it, what he does next is up to him. A poignant, funny, open-hearted novel about coming out, first love, and being your one and only true best self. The Night Marchers and Other Oceanian Stories. Do you hear them? Never go outside when you hear that sound. Ghostly warriors, angry gods, and monstrous tyrants? That's just the start of this collection of folklore from the Pacific retold in comics. The fourth volume of the Cautionary Fables and Fairy Tales graphic novel series is a thrilling, funny, and totally new take on stories spanning the entirety of the region, with loads of lesser-known myths and legends from the Philippines, New Zealand, Hawaii, and beyond. Out Now, Queer We Go Again. A follow-up to the critically acclaimed all-out anthology, Out Now features 17 new short stories from amazing queer YA authors. Vampires crash prom, aliens run from the government, a president's daughter comes into her own, a true romantic tries to soften the heart of a cynical social media influencer, a Selkie and the sea call out to a lost soul. Teapots and barbershops, skateboards and VW vans, Street Fighter and Ares' sword. Out Now has a story for every reader and surprises with each turn of the page.
This is The Other Talk, Reckoning with Our White Privilege by Brendan Kiley with an introduction by Jason Reynolds. White kids usually don't have the talk with their family, the honest talk about survival in a racist world. They're barely spoken to about race at all, and that needs to change. Because not talking about racism doesn't make it go away. Not talking about white privilege doesn't mean it doesn't exist. The Other Talk begins with this much-needed conversation for white kids. In an instantly relatable and deeply honest account of his own life, Brendan Kiley offers a way to understand one's own white privilege so we can all start doing our part today.
Blackout is an interconnected collection of short stories of Black teen love by 6 young adult authors. In the midst of a New York City heat wave, the entire city goes dark. No electricity, no trains, no elevators, but romantic sparks fly in the lives of teens, all traveling in New York City, some intentionally and some unintentionally, to the same Brooklyn block party. Masked Off by Nick Stone follows high school basketball star J.J. Harding stuck in the subway with his secret crush Tremaine. As the two boys navigate the blackout, while contemplating what a relationship would mean in their lives. Danielle Clayton's All the Great Love Stories and Dust finds best friends Tristan and Lana at the famous main branch of New York Public Library, discovering a new love from an old friendship. Join this love-filled Blackout block party filled with romance and electricity. Yoke by Mary Kay Choi is the story of two very different sisters, told through the voice of the younger sister Jane. Jane and June, who were once very close, both live in New York City but are estranged and don't communicate at all, until a chance interaction when Jane learns that June has been diagnosed with cancer and begins to care for her. The two develop a new relationship caring for each other while discovering family secrets that greatly impacted their childhood. In addition to being a beautiful story, it's physically a beautiful book, with illustrations on the cover and back representing the sisters, and tiny black marks on each page that combine to illustrate the sisters holding hands when the book is closed. Will the secrets they learn about each other and their upbringing encourage them to continue holding on to each other, or tear them apart again? Quiet Girl in a Noisy World, an introvert story by Debbie Tung, is a moving, heartwarming, and often funny coming-of-age story from the perspective of a girl like me, an introvert. Written as a graphic novel with illustrations that are both beautiful and hilarious, the author takes us on a 3-year journey through her life. First as a college student trying to fit in and struggling with social interactions, then as a young professional navigating office culture and career issues, and finally as a married woman, married to an extrovert. The book is for every introvert who's ever wondered, is there something wrong with me? And for every extrovert who should read this story to better understand their social counterparts. Ultimately, this book is about learning to be kind to yourself as you travel the road to personal fulfillment and self-love. The purpose of studying history is not to deride human action, nor to weep over it or to hate it, but to understand it, and hopefully then to learn from it as we contemplate our future. Nelson Mandela. Blackbirds in the Sky by Brandy Colbert helps us do just that, better understand a series of events in American history that has only recently been examined. In the early 1900s, when racial discrimination was at its peak, Black Americans in Tulsa, Oklahoma, created what became known as Black Wall Street, a business sector with Black-owned hotels, stores, and theaters. Then in June of 1921, a white mob from a neighboring town, acting on a rumor, burned the entire town to the ground, killing and injuring hundreds. Blackbirds in the Sky not only detail the massacre, but uplifts the voices of survivors. While not an entertaining summer read, it is a very important book for all young people to understand American history better than the generations before them.